I'm gonna do it. Today's the day I speak my mind. I'm gonna call them. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Hang up, hang up, hang up, hang up. Delete, delete. Okay, I'll send him a voice note. That's what I'll do. Hi. Ugh, never mind. You know what? I'll text. That way I can say exactly what I need to say. Hey, so I didn't appreciate the okay, never mind. Tone it down, tone it down. Maybe I'll find say it nicer. Hey, can we talk about our call yesterday? No, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. Girl, you're really gonna do this? You're doing it. Oh, Sheila.
So, fun fact, I'm a formerly trained actress, even though I'm not acting. I barely use that degree. I should get a refund on that degree. That's why I'm not paying the motherfucking student loans. But anyway, you can pry them from my dead cold hands. I was training with a vocal coach, right? She was teaching us about how to connect with your most authentic voice. And she started the class by saying that newborns have the most authentic voice because they have a direct connection between using their voice and getting their needs met. And all humans are doing all the time is looking to get their needs met. And so a baby, when they are hungry, they're going to scream and cry. They're not going to think about where they are, if they're in a movie theater, if it's late, if it's too quiet in the room. They don't think about any of that. I mean, obviously this is not a conscious choice for babies. Obviously they don't have a sophistication in their voice to allow them to speak or all of those other things. But just take it, we're just going to take it for what it's worth here. But she was saying like that they will use their voice to get their needs met. If they're hungry, if they're tired, if they need a situation change, they will let you know. They know immediately without hesitation when they need something and how to get their needs met. And I know that all humans go through this process. We all, no matter your gender, are going to become domesticated with our voice at some point or another. You learn as you grow older what is polite, how to say please and thank you. You learn to lower your voice. You learn to match my tone. Match my tone. Use your inside voice, use your outside voice. We learn to disconnect our voice from getting our needs met and to use it to play a social game. On top of that natural socialization that happens with our voices in general, women get an added layer of sexism on top of it. We learn to say it nicer. We learn to say it quieter. We learn to be polite. We sometimes learn not to say anything at all. And then one day you wake up and you realize there's this huge gap between what you say and what you need. Some of us have been taught out of how to use our voice to get our needs met, how to use our voice to articulate what we really want to say, what we need, what we expect. And so this video is a step towards reclaiming that power back. It's not going to be done in one YouTube video. I would never lie. I would never promise anything like that. But this is a step. Hi, I'm Shelah Marie. I am the host of Unruly with Shelah, my podcast, and this is my Healing Era series. Every video, I'm taking you through a specific stage of healing and breaking down the real psychology and emotional patterns that keep us stuck. I'll show you why you feel the way you do, what's actually happening beneath the surface, and practical tools that you can use right now. So throughout this series, up until now, I've been really soft. I've been mostly focused on validating you because, as I've mentioned before, I think it is very harmful and actually works against what the end goal is when healers and teachers start from a place of instruction, where I start from giving you advice, where I start from telling you, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. Yeah, okay, a lot of us are familiar with that structure from school and everything, and it makes sense, but I argue that for women, and especially Black women who are in my community, we need to be validated. You need to start from a place of honoring where you are and not necessarily hopping to fix it, just acknowledging, just simply saying, baby, it's okay that you are where you are. It's fine. That's okay. We'll get through it. And then sometimes that validation is all you need, and now you're ready. Now you're ready to hear the rest. But I got to validate you first. So I did that. So now I'm going to be a little bit more strict. I'm gonna be a little bit more strict. It's about to get stricter. This video is where I'm gonna channel my Aries energy, the fire energy. We're talking about getting that power back, all right? We've been leaving Hansel and Gretel bits of our power all over the place, and it's time to reclaim them and put them back where they belong so that you can transition cleanly from this healing era to the next one. Because if you're watching this, I have a feeling you're in the middle. You know you need to leave this one, but you need some instruction for how to get to this one. In this video, I'll break down what it actually looks like to take yourself back after a long season of self-abandonment. I'm going to explain why we struggle with boundaries so much, why we keep shrinking, why we keep overgiving, and steps we can take today to reclaim our power. Let's get into it. So I was negotiating this deal for a long time. I can't give many details out, but I can say this. I knew that I was being stretched. I knew that I was giving more than I had. Like so many meetings after meetings after meetings. I'm like, listen, it don't take this many meetings to decide if you want to do a thing or not. But I was like, maybe this is just the way it goes. This is just the way corporate is, etc. And I didn't feel good about it though. I didn't feel good about overextending myself. I didn't feel good about giving them another document, another pitch deck, another thing. Cause I'm like, well, I know in the industry, you kind of do have to push yourself out there. You really do. You have to do these meetings, XYZ. But I knew it didn't feel right. And I was doing it anyway because there was a part of me that was like, I don't know if I will get to the next level without this particular thing. I felt like I needed this thing to get me to the next version of myself. I felt like this thing would be very good financially, would make me feel really successful. And long story short, the thing never happened. And all I had at the end of this whole thing was I felt a lot of resentment. I felt mad. I was mad at myself for not listening to myself, mad at myself for overextending myself. I was like, damn, I really feel like Boo Boo the Fool. That's crazy. I feel crazy right now. And it took me a minute to really grapple with that because the hardest part for me to grapple with was the fact that I felt like I gave so much of my power to other people. Because as quiet as it's kept, I think that a part of the reason on a spiritual level why this deal wouldn't go through is because I didn't claim it. I didn't claim my power. I was like, oh, I'm not good at negotiating. I'll let this person do it. I'm not good at making the deck. I'll let this person do it. And I had given every time I didn't think that I was. Now, there's a difference between delegating. Like, delegating is smart. Like, you should delegate. Absolutely. When you know where your skills and strengths are and you delegate to other people who have strengths that you don't, that's intelligence. That's good. But what I was doing was leaning on other people. I was using other people as a crutch. I was scared of moving to this next level. Getting this deal would firmly cement that I'm leaving this era, I'm leaving this version of Shelah and moving to another version of Shelah, because this deal would imply that I would be seen in a much more visible way. I would be really put out there. And the truth is, I was giving my power away because I was scared of it. I was scared. I didn't really step into my power. If I knew that I felt that I was ready to be seen, I know the deal would have went through. Spiritually, I know that. I know magic happens for me all the time. Things happen for me in windy and wavy things. Opportunities just find me. I believe in that. But I felt very disempowered, which allowed me to feel like I didn't have agency, which made me not believe in myself, which caused everything to choke up. So here's what we learned. Let me break down 3 ways that I think women lose themselves, and then I'll give you some tips for what we can do about it. So first of all, a lot of women, we lose ourselves through overgiving. I just talked about this on my Instagram because I went to a healing retreat, and one of the themes, like there was a few themes that connected all the women at the retreat, because the retreat leader had interviewed us before and kind of got a sense of what are things we wanted to work on. You know, what issues are we dealing with in our life? And all of the women there said overworking and caretaking was one of the top things that they are working through. There's a difference between giving from a pure place. There's a difference between saying, you know, I just love nurturing. I just love caretaking, because in the post that I made, a lot of women were commenting that like, yo, like, so what if I just like nurturing? What if you like caretaking? Well, if you like nurturing and caretaking and you're doing that within your means, if you're giving exactly what you have and you still feel good about it and you still feel like you have something left over after the fact, then I'm not talking to you. You are doing exactly what you want to be doing. And I love that. I like nurturing and giving too. Absolutely. But we got to recognize when we're nurturing and giving more than we have. The key here is over. The operative word in this is over giving. I didn't say giving. It was over giving. And in our retreat, it was over caretaking, which means giving more than you have. And if you are giving more than you have, you are abandoning yourself in some way. You are saying that whatever you're giving to, if it's you, let's say for example, you don't have the capacity, you're really burnt out, but you know what? You want your child to be in soccer, and so you're just going to take them even though you're completely burnt out. The message now, first of all, there's a lot of shame on mothers, honestly. Mothers have crazy expectations, and mothers are expected to work a 9 to 5 and then a 5 to 9. There's a lot of pressure on moms. And so what you're communicating when you go, I'm going to do this soccer thing anyway, even though I don't have the capacity, is that they matter more than you. And I know this is tricky territory because some people are going to say, well, your kids do matter more than you. I don't think that. I'm sorry. I don't. I think a mother who does that at the end of the day is going to be resentful. And I would argue that resent is going to be expressed in her relationship through her children. The children are going to feel that you're overstretched in one way or another. Speaking from experience, okay? So a question is, why do you have to give more than you have? That's a question for you to ask yourself. And who could you be if you didn't do that? Who could you be if you did not engage in overgiving? Another way we give up power is losing ourselves through shrinking. I am so guilty of this one. And sometimes we do it without even noticing it. This is when you are making yourself smaller to make other people feel more comfortable. I've seen a lot of this in the workplace where women will unknowingly, subconsciously make themselves smaller and prop up men in the workplace, allowing their ideas to flourish, allowing them to speak more in meetings, being more quiet, lowering the tone of their voice, refusing to articulate ideas when they have them, avoiding conflict, avoiding not being seen as too much. All of this is linked to sexism and the gender construct of women being seen and not heard. Where have I heard that before? I'm not even going to get into how a lot of gender roles for women remind me of the same roles we have for children. I digress. And the last way that we lose ourselves, we give away our power, is through silence. Silence. Were you silent or silenced? Okay? So yes, going back to the analogy about the human voice being in the purest form when you're an infant, think about through your life. If you were going to take inventory right now in your life on all the ways in which you have been silenced. Maybe you were silenced by your parents, culture, community, religion, yourself, romantic partners. Many times women are encouraged to optimize peace instead of honesty. And so we choose harmony over our own well-being. And that's perfectly fine for society. They're like, that's fine, women. Who cares? Just be quiet. So we're done with that because you are on the cusp. If you got to this video, you're on the cusp. You're about to step fully in to the next healing era. And that is going to require you to reclaim your power. And one of the quickest ways to do that is to reclaim that voice. So here are some tools I'm going to give you. These are very simple tools you can do to reclaim some of that power that you gave away. All right. So number one, slow down. Slow down. I am talking to myself here. Slow down, Shelah. Okay, I am. Slow down. Okay. Okay. In that retreat I mentioned earlier, she was saying that this impulse to overgive, to over caretake, is related to hypervigilance and fawning, the fawning response. So hypervigilance is where you're trying to manage other people's behaviors. If you set up the TV just right, if the food's just right, if you set everything up, then everybody will be okay. Hypervigilance is where you're constantly scanning the environment for threats. Remember that I said in my first video, our brains are not wired to make us happy or successful. Our brains are wired to keep us safe and keep us alive. Okay, so constantly scanning for threats, that's hypervigilance. This looks like us doing things really fast without thinking because we're so afraid of what could happen if we don't. So this is also that fawning response too. Fawning is related to people pleasing, and it's where you're going to be super accommodating, even if your insides are screaming. It's like, can you take on this project? And your insides are like, I can absolutely not. I am going to die. I cannot take on any more work. Well, of course I can do it. I'll do it. It's fine. No, don't worry. I will. Fawning. These are split-second decisions that happen in our subconscious before we even know it's happened. So A way to combat that is just moving a little slower. If you can, if you get an email that is a request and you do not have to respond right away, don't. If someone in person asks you for something, can I think on that? Let me just, you know what? I might, but let me just check on that, right? Real simple, real easy. Just resist the urge as much as possible to respond immediately. What that little time will do, even if it's 90 seconds, hopefully longer, will you allow you to self, well, how do I really want to do that? I kind of don't want to do that thing. Why you don't want to do that thing? Um, I just I kind of just after work, I just don't want to do anything. I want to come home and watch Netflix. I'm a little tired. Okay. That's good. Thank you for saying that. Well, thank you for listening. All right, so what can we do? I think we can just go back and say, you know what? Oh my God, thank you so much for thinking of me. I so appreciate you, looping me in. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it that night. But keep me updated for the future, or if you have something, right? You don't have to over explain yourself. You just have to honor what you hear on the inside. So give yourself a second to check in with your star player, right? And see how you really feel. Because if you're not doing that, you are abandoning yourself. And if you are abandoning yourself, you are not moving to the next healing era. Most of us are not saving children from cancer. Like, most of us are not operating a rocket ship to the moon. Like, things can wait. Corporate culture manufactures all this urgency that isn't real, and that extends beyond corporate. Like, we see it everywhere. So I'm arguing, just take your time. This is how you take a little bit of your power back. This is how you take a little bit of your humanity back, because we are not robots. We are working in a robotic world, but we are humans. The other tip I'm going to give you is bilateral stimulation. In that space, I want you to engage in some bilateral stimulation. And you'll notice a lot of the exercises that I'm giving you are somatic. They're based in the body, because I think we have a tendency to over intellectualize everything. And I attract intellectualizers, and I love us because I'm one of us, but we can explain why a thing is happening. We can tell you where our patterns are coming from. We can tell you what our attachment style is, XYZ, but that doesn't mean that we can stop the behavior. Isn't it funny? It works like that. You can know better and not do better. I know they say if you know better, you'll do better, but I don't think that's true. Sometimes you know better and you don't know how to do better. Or sometimes you know better, but your nervous system won't let you do better. So this is great because it is in your body and not in your mind that we're calming your nerve. We're getting right to the core. We're going straight to that nervous system. Okay. So this is great to bring you to the present, because again, anxiety is thinking about the future. Depression is usually lamenting about the past, and this will bring you present. Bilateral stimulation. It engages both hemispheres of the brain. So you do like these left, right movements that encourages communication between the hemispheres. You will see a lot of this in EMDR, and I am a huge fan of EMDR. If you can get your hands on an EMDR practitioner, do that. I digress. It gives your body a sense of predictability and safety. Your nervous system, again, is constantly looking for safety. And so this mimics that for your nervous system, which helps you calm down. You're okay. Nothing dangerous is happening to you. A bear is not chasing me. And it also mimics the body's natural soothing patterns, right? For example, rocking is a form of bilateral stimulation. And you'll notice that mothers rock their babies, kids rock themselves. We naturally rock as a way to soothe ourselves. So here's some very simple bilateral stimulation exercises that you can do. One I just gave you is rocking. So if you feel like you're in a situation where you're about to give a piece of your power away, someone has asked you to do something, you have been confronted with a decision, and you don't know yet, which is good. You not knowing yet means you're aware, you're paying attention. Just stop for a second and do some rocking. And in the rocking, you can ask yourself, how do I really feel about this? I don't think I feel that comfortable with it. Really? Get curious. Okay, why don't you feel that comfortable about it? I just don't think I really have the capacity. Okay. All right, I'm going to hear that. I'm going to listen to that, right? Another option is butterfly taps. I'm going to put my mic down to do it. So you're going to cross your arms like this, and you're just going to tap. This is called the butterfly tap. And you can do the same thing. Sometimes I've seen people combine it with rocking or not. And you're just going to sit and tap. If you feel like investigating your feelings, you can do that too. How do I feel about that then? You can also do bilateral taps on your legs. So you can't see my knees here, but you're basically going to take your hands and you're just going to tap. You're just going to tap. You're going to tap on your knees. You can do this, I think, brings you present really fast. And the last one is eye tracking, which is left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. You can do this anywhere. So if you are at work and you need a second, you don't have an hour break, right? Like you can't like pull away. Can you pull away for a few minutes and just simply sit and eye tracking left, right, left, right. These are very simple things you can do that have long-lasting changes. If you learn how to make a decision from an empowered place, however small that decision is, you build that muscle memory. Before you know it, you're living an empowered life. I know that there's an impulse. We're a microwave generation. TikTok is 90 seconds and somebody has lost all this weight and did all these things. There's all these ways in which we expect things to happen big, large, loud, and fast. But I am arguing that true lasting power is actually very quiet. It's actually very subtle. It's kind of like when someone walks into a room and they just have something about them where they don't need to make a big fuss. They don't need to be the loudest in the room, but they just have this magnetism about them. That's what happens when you start making empowered decisions, one decision at a time. It starts to become a part of who you are. You don't need to bulldoze your entire life to get your power back. You don't need to tear all this shit down. Delete all this shit. I know that's my impulse because I'm an Aries, but we're just going to leave that there. Okay. You do need to stop abandoning yourself one moment at a time. You're not hard to love. You're not too much. You're not being dramatic. This is you remembering who you are, rediscovering your power, and rediscovering your voice. If you are working on taking yourself back, if you're working on reclaiming your power, I have a free 7-day journal, and this is actually day 5. It's called Unruly and Rising. Details will be in the caption. You can get that for free. It's a companion to these videos if you want. And if you want to go even deeper, I have a mini course that is a companion to this as well, which has exercises. I guide you through things, and we just go a little bit deeper than I do in these videos here. And if you're just nosy, you want to follow my real-time thoughts, again, I will never tell you anything that I'm not doing myself. I will never teach you anything that I haven't learned, that I'm not going through. If you want to follow like day-to-day stuff, you can subscribe to my Instagram stories there. It's $5 a month. You know what I'm saying? Just a little razzle dazzle. Who knows what you'll find there? You might find, I don't know, am I thirst trapping? I might be. Am I cooking? I might be. Is it background with the family? It might. Am I doing a vlog today? I might. You never know what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? I warned you. All right? Anyway, thank you for joining and I'll see you next time.
Give me some